Hi everybody, it's Mercy and I'm back with another video. This one happens to be on a card that I made for one of my cousins. She just finished getting a house and I figured I would get her a little housewarming card and make it to her to send it up to Connecticut. The first thing that I did is I tried to look for a cartridge that had a house in it, and I found that the cartridge for My World has houses in it. So I found that they have two versions of their houses. They have a new house and they have an old house. So I decided to go ahead with this one. And the way that I did it is I got some brown cardstock. And this cardstock actually, a friend of mine had given me, and it's from Stampin' Up. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but she just gave me some of her scraps and I used it to try to make the house. The first time that I cut it on this one though, I messed up on the cutting of it, so I had to recut it, and this time I used this one here. So what I did is I cut the shadow of it in the brown, in this brown, and I cut that at 2.5, so I just pressed shadow to get this, and then out of the green polka dot one I did the actual house, so I just did this one without pressing any buttons. And then to make the roof and the door, I used the brown again, and I cut that just at the regular 2.5. Once you set it at 2.5, you can just cut all your parts to it, and then everything will match up perfectly. So then after I had everything cut out of there, and that's on page 12 of the My World cartridge book, and then once I did that, I went to layer them on top of each other, and I thought to myself, like, it needs a little bit more dimension. So what I did is I got the Tim Holtz wood grain embossing folder, and I passed the roof and the door through the wood grain, and then the house itself I passed it through the Swiss dots. Now when you pass it through the Swiss dots, however, this cardstock is very thin. This isn't like heavy duty cardstock, it's like very thin cardstock, so it almost breaks it. So you got to make sure that when you pass it through, you pass it very lightly, so that way it doesn't break through here. So I would guess like putting another sheet of paper underneath here, so that way it wouldn't break through, because it almost broke the actual cardstock. So then what I did was I sanded it down because it sort of looked a little bit bad. So all I did was use a little bit of sanding paper, and I sanded the top of it, which showed it white, and then I got some of the creamy brown in the Color Cube chalk, and I sort of went over it to try to make it a little bit more brown, and now you can't even tell what happened. Then I glued down some white, just regular white little piece of scrap paper all over the place, so that way it would be behind the windows of the house. And then after I glued everything down and actually matted it all down, I put some glossy accents inside all of the windows, and that's going to be very hard to tell, but you can sort of tell in the largest one right over the door how it sort of like shimmers a little bit, and that's because of the glossy accents. And then I took just a black marker and I went through and outlined all of the little cuts that it had made in order to finish it. Then what I did is I have this paper tape. It's packaging tape that I had bought forever ago from Michael's, and it's from Making Memories, and this one is called Cheeky, and it was on clearance, so I'm sure that they don't have it anymore. And what I did is I glued that down on the bottom, because originally I had actually sketched this card out, which I like never do. Originally I was going to have grass, and then I was going to have like script in the back. But then in order to put the grass down, I just thought that the blades would be way bigger when I tried to do it out of one of the cartridges. So I figured that this way it would look a little bit cuter. So I put down the packaging tape, and then I got some buttons from Paper Tray Ink, and then this one is the Plum Pudding, this one the color is New Leaf, this one is Spring Rain, and this one is, ooh, I forgot the name of this one. It's in the Spring Mix collection. It's the pink one. Something blush. I can't forget the first part of it. I forgot it. Then what I did is I had a little blue piece of cardstock left over from other projects that I had done, and I got those new stamps that I just bought. They're by the Image Tree, and they're on clearance at Michael's, and they're that typewriter, antique typewriter set, and they look really cute. So I went ahead and embossed it, stamped it down, and then I put it with the denim embossing powder that I bought the other day from the art supply store, and I put that there. And then the last thing that I did is I did the little border at the bottom with the scallop punch from EK Success, and I just cut the bottom of the card. And then after that, like the amount of white that was showing was quite a lot, so I just trimmed down the very bottom of the edge some, and that's what I did. And these cards I buy already made, and they're the ones from Michael's. It's the assorted box of cards, and it's the DCWV, and I just buy these cards and then just make whatever I want on the outside of it. That way I just have something already pre-made with an envelope already made. So that's how I did my card. I hope you guys enjoy. Please leave me a comment if you have any comments. Thanks. Bye.